Megan Rapinoe has basically been, since 2016, doing the Colin Kaepernick routine.
This is my charge to everyone. We have to be better.
Getting famous off the radical left social justice stuff that she has been pushing.
We have to love more, hate less.
And that's the reason why she's really being celebrated today. Not because she's a terrific soccer player.
We got to listen more and talk less.
But because she is an outspoken lesbian.
We got to know that this is everybody's responsibility. Every single person here.
There are times when Ben Shapiro talks and I hear. And then there are times when he talks and I hear.
I am offended.
In this case, it's the former. Shapiro argues Rapinoe is only famous because she's gay. That's like saying Shapiro is only famous because he talks.
You little weasel!
Rapinoe won the Golden Boot, scoring 6 times in the tournament. The Golden Ball for top player, a 2-time World Cup winner, a domestic champion with Club Lyon, led the Seattle Reign to a pair of NWSL shields and countless awards. His argument of
getting famous off the radical left social justice stuff that she has been pushing. And that's the reason why she's really being celebrated.
Is intentionally misinformed to fit his talking point. Misinformed, par for the course, like when he discussed climate change.
For the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet, and it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Sell their homes and move when a house is underwater? Blabbermouth continued.
She has become this sort of obnoxious advocate for her position. The reason I call it obnoxious is because, I'm sorry, but if you go to University of Portland on scholarship for women's soccer and then you're whining about this country, shut up. Hey, really, this is a pretty great country when you get to go to college for free.
Again, misinformed. Benny, listen in, my child. Many athletes go on scholarship. Many get hurt while on scholarship. The NCAA squeezes everything out of kids who generate millions while never receiving a dime during enrollment. They cannot get health insurance because they aren't deemed workers, despite their exchange of labor for the cost of attending college from the schools for which they toil. It is blinded by the money.
Must they run their mouths like that? Shut up and dribble.
I'm sorry, but if you go to University of Portland on scholarship for women's soccer and then you're whining about this country, shut up. When I say shut up, by the way, I don't mean that she should be made to be quiet. She can talk as much as she wants. I'm just saying it's obnoxious.
Let's see. Definition of shut up. To cause a person to stop talking.
Because guess what? It is obnoxious. When she's kneeling for the national anthem in a country that is celebrating her as a heroine, she's getting paid millions of dollars to make ads for Nike about how she is a lesbian and outspoken and a soccer player. It seems to me she should be sort of grateful for the country that makes all that possible.
In just over 1 minute, Shapiro has hit the grand slam orgasm of right-wing talking points. Don't kneel during the anthem, respect the flag, be grateful you live in the greatest country in the world, when really we're not great. It's the left's fault. They're pushing for equality. Why would we want equality?
More than that, Rapinoe demonstrates an obvious unwillingness to even talk with anybody on the other side of the aisle. Now, before people say, well, why would she talk with you? You're criticizing her. Right, I'm criticizing her specifically because she has evidenced no desire to have a conversation of any merit or substance on these issues.
The most typical Shapiro methodology. Look at me. I'm throwing myself out there knowing I won't get what I want. He did it with AOC, and she sniped him on Twitter. Now he's doing it with Megan Rapinoe, who he says owes him time. The same Ben Shapiro who wrote of gay couples the homosexual assault on traditional marriage. The same Shapiro who wrote, they, as in liberals, say any marriage is merely a grouping of 2 people who love each other. This is absurd. Marriage is implicitly about the relationship between man and woman. And continued, marriage is codification of the idea that a man and a woman in a committed and sexual union make each other and the surrounding society better. The same Ben Shapiro, who is an Orthodox Jew, him and I, me a Reform, don't really see eye to eye on the notion of oppressing women. Women must sit at the back of the bus, says ultra-Orthodox men, some of whom have screamed at, kicked, and beaten women who refuse to move from the front. Ultra-Orthodox leaders have actually prevailed upon the egged bus company, Israel's main line, to run some segregated buses. There are many attempts to do this. Eliminate the sight, sound, and presence of women at conferences, conventions, on governing bodies, public stages, TV, and radio, even in pictures and on posters. Furthermore, separate lines and hours for men and women, along with other methods of gender segregation, are enforced for health clinics, hospitals, post offices, libraries, trains, cemeteries, and stores. The fact that Rapinoe is a woman and is gay is the 1-2 Mike Tyson knockout punch for Ben Shapiro. Ben, from one Jew to another, gay cock and off and yam.
She's lived a pretty good life in the United States. I think it's fair to say. Megan Rapinoe has lived a pretty good life in the United States. Still, she talks about how America is really, really a bad place.
Ben, man, America is not the worst place, but it's also not the best. When Donald Trump elects Neil Gorsuch, rolls back Obama-era regulations to protect the LGBTQ community, that's marginalization. When kids are put in cages, sexually assaulted, and dying for seeking asylum a right in this country, that doesn't make us great. MAGA is what Shapiro will shout. A time when gay people were imprisoned or executed just for liking someone of the same sex.
And then she continued by suggesting that she didn't want to meet with the Trump administration. So instead of everybody celebrating together, or maybe her making her point to, people who disagree, maybe she could make an affirmative case. Instead, she says she's not going to meet with the administration because she doesn't want to be co-opted or used by the administration. Yes, I am sure that would have been the media coverage. Is Megan Rapinoe co-opted by President Trump? It wouldn't have been her going to the White House and then mouthing off to Trump about equal pay.
Does this seem like a woman that would mouth off to Trump?
You're back and forth with the President of the United States.
I held up my end of the bargain. FIFA always gets booed for everything. We have to be open.
Shouldn't Johnny know that by now?
He should. But we always have to be open to progress. And sometimes it takes some people a little bit longer to get there.
Honestly, if I were her media advisor, that's what I would tell her to do. Accept the invitation from the Trump White House.
Of course you would, because you support him.
Go there and then make a comment directly to Trump's face about equal pay. Right? That would be the smartest thing for her to do. She's not going to do that.
Common for Shapiro. Dare someone to do something he knows they won't do. However, if she were to do what he demands, what would Shapiro say?
Shut up.
How dare she disrespect the president? This is a great country. Ungrateful are you, un-American phony.
Shut up.
What Ben Shapiro is inferior. He is a small man with a small-minded view, represented by his post-bar mitzvah voice. His misogyny is clear, as are his views on gay marriage. His white supremacy is clear through racist tweets on Arab people in this world, the art of hip-hop, and the late Trayvon Martin, R.I.P. He has proven to be hypocritical in the simplistic view of just 2 singular tweets. Ben, facts don't care about your feelings, and neither does Megan Rapinoe.